Good morning, everyone. So, today we will start with metabolism in fed state. Let's see the biochemistry of the fed state. So, what is well fed state? Well fed state is the state that is 2 to 4 hours after food intake. And what is the hormone of well fed state? The pancreatic hormone. So, well fed state is insulin predominant state. The hormone of well fed state is insulin. So, this you have to keep it in mind. Next thing is in well fed state, there is digestion and absorption of macronutrients. So, there will be spike of increase in glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, and triacylglycerols. The insulin secretion begins to rise when the blood glucose will be more than 70 milligram per deciliter, or in moles it can be 3.9 millimoles per liter. And how we will assess that how much insulin is secreted? So we assess it by the assessment of C peptide, because in pancreatic beta cell along with insulin there is secretion of C peptide also in the same amount. So for the assessment of insulin we assess C peptide. Next is how insulin is secreted from the pancreatic beta cell. So in pancreas there is beta cells that secretes insulin. So let's see that it is a beta cell. The beta cells are having GLUT2 receptors or GLUT2 transporter, glucose transporter. From this glucose transporter, glucose will enter into the beta cells, and this glucose will form pyruvate, and there will be generation of ATP. This increase in ATP will close the ATP sensitive potassium channels, and due to this there will be depolarization of what? The depolarization of membrane of beta cell. There is no, one second. So there is depolarization of membrane. Due to depolarization there is opening of voltage gated calcium channel. So the voltage gated calcium channel will open and the calcium will influx, and the vesicles which carry insulin will move towards the membrane and they will burst, and there will be release of insulin. So this is how insulin is released. First the glucose will enter through the glucose transporter second, and the glucose will convert into pyruvate to form the ATP, and then there will be closure of the ATP sensitive potassium channels, which will lead to depolarization of membrane, and then there will be opening of voltage gated calcium channel through which the calcium will enter into the beta cells, and it will stimulate the vesicles that are filled with insulin to go to the membrane, and they attach to the membrane and burst, and there is release of insulin. So this is how insulin is secreted from the beta cells. Now next thing is that what are the actions of insulin? So the action of insulin that we have to learn in biochemistry preference, so that it increase the enzymatic activity. But which enzymatic activity? The enzymes that are dephosphorylated, or we can say that in presence of insulin The enzymes are dephosphorylated, they are active in dephosphorylated state in the presence of insulin. And how they are dephosphorylated? So the enzymes that are phosphodiesterase and phosphatase, with the help of these enzymes, the enzymes get dephosphorylated. Next thing is the amino acids in muscles. Due to insulin, there is increased protein synthesis. There is transamination and oxidative deamination also. What are the processes that are favored by the presence of insulin? So, insulin favors glycolysis, link reaction, then glycogenesis, gluconeogenesis, no, not gluconeogenesis, glycogenesis, fats formation, and so on. So it is, insulin is mainly the anabolic hormone. Whatever the anabolic reactions are taking place, insulin is responsible for that, and for this, that dephosphorylated enzymes are responsible. The enzymes are active in dephosphorylated states in these reactions. So glycolysis and link reaction, these are commonly asked, that they are active in the presence of insulin, and dephosphorylated enzymes take part in the glycolysis and link reaction. Next, what is asked, that what are the metabolic fuels in fed state? Metabolic fuels in fed state. So in fed state, the glucose is used mainly. Only two are our organ, that organ, or we can say that brain, only use glucose during the fed state. And RBC also, we know that RBC don't have any cell organelle, no nucleus, no mitochondria. So absence of mitochondria, there is no generation of the ATP through oxygen and all. So RBC में anaerobic respiration होता है. Anaerobic respiration में it totally depends on glycolysis. So glucose is the source of fed state in RBC and in also in starvation. In every state, RBC depends on glucose. Next is, these organs can also use free fatty acids, but in fed state they prefer glucose. So these are liver. Adipose tissue also use glucose, that don't use free fatty acids to form the fatty fats or store the fats. They use glucose that are converted into free fatty acids. Then is skeletal muscles also use glucose during the fed state. Now, which are the organs that use free fatty acids? Then the only one, that is heart, because it has low glycolytic capacity. So this you have to remember, that heart uses free fatty acids instead of glucose in fed state. Next thing that you have to learn, this is all about fed state. The question asked in fed state, that what is fed state? It is 2 to 4 hours after the food intake. To assess the insulin secretion, we use C-peptide assessment. And how the insulin secreted, that there is voltage gated calcium channels activation due to the depolarization of membrane due to closure of the ATP sensitive potassium channels. And the action of insulin is in dephosphorylated state. Insulin is an anabolic hormone. It is responsible for the glycolysis link reaction, glycogenesis, fat formation, protein formation. It is anabolic. And the metabolic fuels that are used in fed state, the glucose is used by brain, RBC, and the glucose more than they can use free fatty acids also, but in fed state mainly they use liver. The glucose is used by the liver, adipose tissue, and skeletal muscles. And what you have to remember is that heart only use free fatty acids for its metabolic fuels. So this is all about the state of fed, the NEET PG important questions. These are all that asked. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's see you in the next video. Thank you.